This is a very easy seafood recipe utilizing tinned salmon and a few other sort of dry pantry ingredients. So it's something that you can whip up without a lot of fresh ingredients. Also utilizing last night's mashed potatoes, or steamed or boiled if you've got some. So these are sort of a little bit inspired by my nan's fish patties, but instead of serving them with a tartare sauce, I'm actually incorporating most of the tartare ingredients into the mix. So as we fry them, really flavorful bites of those fish patties. So the first thing that we're going to do is pop all of our mashed potato into our bowl. So this is going to act not only as a flavor carrier and a little bit of bulk, it also sort of helps to bind them. The starch in there with the eggs, it all holds it together. So I'm just gonna loosely mash our salmon. So if you've got the smaller cans, it's about 2 cans. If you've got a full can, it's 1 full can. So just drain it. We don't want too much excess liquid in here because then we're going to need more filler to hold them all together. So you could use pink or red salmon, and I choose to use the MSC certified. So this is the Marine Stewardship Council, so you know that this is ethically farmed, sustainable, really making a lot of good choices for our oceans and the future of our seafood. So it's just an easy thing to pick up. Look out for that blue label. So all of that goes straight in. So we're going to put in some of our flavorings. So we've got some gherkin, finely diced gherkin here. Everything has been well drained. So whilst they may have been in a liquid or a brine or a pickle, really make sure that you drain it, even if you have to pat it with a paper towel. Some capers, same thing, well drained. We don't want to be adding any excess liquid to this. It's going to make the process harder. So spring onions, our last 2 things. So we've got some dill, very important in a tartare, and we've got some chives. So we're going to give that a fine dice. So everything's about the same kind of dice or shape or texture so that it's easily all incorporated into our fish patty mix. So you don't get any one big mouthful of any one ingredient. It's all nice, tiny and flavored. Similar sort of experience that you would have if you're eating a tartare sauce. So nothing is overly chunky. Already I'm excited because just those fresh herbs and onions and capers and gherkins, it already smells like tartare. I'm just going to crack 3 eggs into there. So this is going to help hold it together, as well as some gluten-free breadcrumbs so that I can enjoy this and all of your other gluten-free friends. Now, if you had some leftover bread that you've made at home, by all means use that. And I've sort of said 50 to 100 grams on your recipe that you can find online. Start with the small amount, see how easily it comes together. If you need more, use more, but it's just add it as you go, as you need it. You may not need much at all. So those 3 eggs straight in there. A little bit of white pepper. I prefer using white pepper with seafood just because you don't have those black flecks and it's sort of a little bit more mild, sort of a mild, gentle, peppery hum. I'm going to start to bring this together before I add the breadcrumbs, because then we can sort of gauge by sight and feel how many we need to add. Now, if you didn't really like the idea of the tartare kind of filling in this, you could easily replace all of those flavorings with coriander and red onion, and you could replace the potato with sweet potato. So whilst this is a base recipe, you can sort of have a bit of a play and make it your own as well. You can see that it's holding shape fairly well, but that'll just give us a little bit more binding. We'll start with about half. So this is also an opportunity, if you didn't do a terrific job mashing the potatoes in the first place, you can sort of squish them out a little bit. Again, we don't want any one ingredient being too prominent. You want to get a mouthful of everything. And as I said, if you didn't drain those well, you would have to add even more of that breadcrumb. Whilst they are gluten-free, they're not really offering you any massive nutrient quality, whereas all of these other ingredients and flavors rather are nutrient dense. So we're going to shape that into little patties. We're going to fry them in some butter and some oil for flavor, a little bit extra flavor in there. And then we can come back and plate up for you. So we've cooked them for about 3 to 5 minutes each side. Now all of the ingredients inside, except for those green ones, are actually cooked already. The salmon's cooked, the potatoes cooked. So we're really just looking for a nice golden crust. If you want to, you can cook them a little bit longer if you want a little bit more brown on there. Now, because we've got all of those tartare flavors already in the mix, I'm just serving them with some mayonnaise. Now you don't have to serve them with, they're quite moist and tasty as they are. These also make a great school or work lunch. I love to eat them cold as well. You can put them onto a sandwich if you wish, or just as is. But there we have our beautiful tartare-filled, naan-inspired fish patties.